then we're going to serve is bobble and squeak croquettes. So I've just washed my hands. I'm not just using the chef hands, I have actually just washed them to get them dried off, because straight away it's going to be a very hands-on dish. So don't forget, this is for your Christmas leftovers. So everything here that we see now is already cooked. All we're doing is building it together, making it into something new and re-cooking it for our next dish. So what I have here then is I have some leftover mashed potatoes. Again, this might only be a couple of scoops, but do save it and pop it in the fridge. I've got 3 Brussels sprouts. So again, why would you save 3 Brussels sprouts? Because we're going to use it for the next dish. And I've got a slack handful of carrots. So I'm just going to put this mashed potato straight into a mixing bowl. I've also got a little bit of leftover cheese. Now we had cheese in the last dish. Use it again if you want to, don't if you don't want to. I don't want to waste my leftovers. So pop that in there. Next thing I'm doing is I've got my 3 Brussels sprouts and I'm just going to slice them up nice and thin. So again, you control the knife, not the other way round. So I'm using my hands like this. I'm using my tattoos as a marker because I'm super lucky, I've got to put marker on. And just slicing that way, so my fingers aren't in the way, slicing down like this. So just slicing this Brussels sprouts nice and thin. If you want to put it in the food processor, if you've got one, do so by all means, but just make it nice and thin. If you make it too chunky, don't worry, I'm not going to come around your house and tell you off, it'll be fine. So we're going to put that again straight with the mashed potatoes. So we are making bubble and squeak initially. Only if it's going to make a croquette is the shape, and we're going to put it in breadcrumbs afterwards. So then, of course, we have the cooked carrots as well. Carrots with julienne. However your carrots come, it doesn't matter. Even if they were roasted carrots, you can still use this again. And we're going to use the same cutting technique on these carrots as we did the Brussels sprouts. So again, fingers in, nice small chunks. Nice and easy. Again, you can't do it like how I've done it. Stick it in the blender, mash it with a fork. You could even use carrot and sweet mash in this if you're watching. That would be quite nice too. So now I am going to use Chef Wash. Quick one. So what we're going to put in here then, so we're going to flavour it to make it something new. So I've got a little bit of smoked paprika. I'm going to put a very small drop into that. You can use any herbs and spices that you want to do. I like that just to give it a little bit of a kick, but not too much, because don't forget you've got the rest of the family to think about. You can't just go putting Tabasco sauce and stuff. Other people are going to eat it and don't like it. So a little bit of lazy garlic then. A little bit of salt. And a little bit of pepper. So don't forget then, you would have already seasoned your potatoes and your vegetables because you cooked it yesterday for Christmas dinner. So if you over-seasoned it yesterday, don't season it again today, okay? Don't over-season your food. What we're going to do now then is we're going to mash it. We're going to get our hands right in there and make sure that all of these vegetables, all of these cheese, don't forget everything's already cooked, mixed up nice and even. Real easy tasking. Now if we were going to make bubble and squeak now, we would just do small little patties, wouldn't we? We would do that. We'd fry it off, maybe finish it off in the oven. Easy peasy. But we're going to make croquettes. So all we're simply going to do then is roll them on your chopping board and make them into like small sausages. Like that. That's all we're going to do. And we're going to repeat that a couple of times. Try and keep it as even as you can. Not just for presentation purposes, but also for cooking purposes. If you've got one that's as big as my arm and then one as big as my little finger, they're going to cook at different rates, aren't they? You're going to get one burn and one raw or one cold in the middle. But try and keep them all the same. So just roll them into a sausage, or sausage shape. So you see then these would be suitable for vegetarians. Again, if you wanted to put leftover meat into this, if you wanted to put your small cut up pigs and blankets, by all means do so, it's yours. Now, to save money, we would normally put it into an egg. However, we're going to keep the eggs. Maybe you want that for your breakfast, maybe you've run out of eggs, but chances are you have got a little bit of milk in the house. If not, you can use a little bit of water. All I'm going to do, oh, I've lost my breadcrumbs. One moment, there we go, my beautiful assistants have passed them down, thank you very much. So my breadcrumbs here, I've also seasoned with salt and pepper. Here we go. Alternatively, you can use dried stuffing mix. If you've still got a little bit of Paxo left at the bottom of your box, or you can save it especially, use that instead of the breadcrumbs, because it still gives it that lovely Christmassy feel, and someone's already seasoned it for you. Easy peasy. So there we go. So we're going to do, I'm going to put a little bit of milk around. Again, like I said, we normally would use egg. We're trying to save a little bit of money here, what we've already got. And all that will do is keep it moist in order for the breadcrumbs or the stuffing or whatever you're going to use to stick on the outside. And there we go, got your croquette. If you're going to do that again, pop that into the milk, so into any kind of liquor, so whether it be melted butter if you're feeling super fancy, or your whisked egg, or the milk, and then same again, bit of thyme, bit of breadcrumbs, roll that through, nice and easy, and there's your 3 breadcrumb croquettes. I'm now going to go and wash my hands, and I'll see you again in a moment. So I've pat down, I've cleaned my hands, and you can see I've come over to the stove. I'm going to put the stove on to about 4 or 5. And I'm going to put some sunflower or vegetable oil into it. The reason I'm going to use this rather than olive oil is because it's got a higher burn temperature, which means I can get it slightly hotter without burning the house down, which is quite nice. Just going to pop that in oil then. So while that's cooking, I'm going to run you through what I'm going to do next. As that gets hot, I'm going to pop the croquettes that I've got here into the hot oil. When they're browned on one side, I'm then going to turn them over and brown them on the other side. This is mostly for presentation, okay? You want that nice crisp sound when you run the knife across it. When you bite into it, you want that lovely crisp coating. So all we're doing here is that it's not going to heat up the middle. So once that's done, that's browned off nicely and crisp up nicely in the pan, I'm then going to pop them into the oven. Maybe for anywhere between 7 to 10 minutes. And don't forget it has got cheese inside it, so any cheese that comes out may also start to burn, so you really need to be careful what you're doing here. So let's hope then that this is getting hot enough. If you put it in before the oil is hot enough, all the breadcrumbs are going to do is absorbing all that fat, and you're going to have some real sloppy, disgusting croquettes. You want them nice and crisp, okay? So you want the oil to get nice and hot. Let's hope this is going to be hot enough. It was not. I'm just going to take it back out again. We'll come back to you when the oil's hot enough. Okay, patient me is now ready. The oil is now hot enough. So just going to pop them in. So you saw them when I put them in too early. Nothing happened. None of this lovely sizzling sound happened. So don't be afraid just to take it back out of the oil. Of course, do watch your fingers, okay? The oil will still be hot even though it's not sizzling. But just pop them back out again. Rather get it right and learn from your mistakes than continue doing something that you know isn't correct. Okay, so these are now just nice and browning. If you're doing quite a lot of these, you'll notice that the breadcrumbs will start to come off and start to heat up in the oil. And you just start getting burnt breadcrumbs. So every now and again, you're going to need to change the oil. So I'm just going to turn them over then slightly. Nice. Nice and easy, nice and fresh, nice and crisp. Oh, I can already smell the cheese as well. It smells delicious. Now it's going to start to crisp up. See, it's got the colour as well. Get them on. Shake off any of the excess oils. You don't want deep fat fire in your oven. Okay, so pop them there. Take this off the heat. And now I'm going to put these in the oven. So these are looking nice and brown then. We're going to pop them up the oven and serve them with our whole grain mustard dip. It's going to be delicious. Now your tray's going to be hot, so do be careful. Oh look, they've all fell apart here. So if yours fall apart, I really wouldn't worry too much. Just pop them in like that. And when they've cooled down slightly, pop them into your whole grain mustard dip and they will be delicious.